What's going on, y'all? I'm going to come to you with a really quick message about trusting your future self. Now, no, this is not motivational speaking, hogwash, mumbo jumbo. Come join my program for $29.99 and in 30 days I'll change your life. That's not what I'm talking about. This is a lot more grounded in reality. When I say trust your future self, I'm talking about a way to make really difficult decisions in life. When you are not clear about whether to stay in your job or leave it and start that business, or whether or not you should begin family planning and starting a family or pursuing your career, whether or not you should keep that friend that bothers you and says inappropriate things, or ghost them and leave them altogether. This is how you can make these decisions in a way that will end up in the long run benefiting you and aligning with your ideal self or your values. And it's called trusting your future self. All that looks like in practice is futurecast. Think 10 years down the road, 15, 20 years down the road, and ask that future version of yourself, that older version of yourself, what decision will you be most proud of me making today? What decisions, if I don't make them, will you feel the most regret for? Use that future version of yourself to make current day decisions, because oftentimes that future version of yourself has your best interest in mind and is not allowing fear, anxiety, stress, indecision, procrastination to make the current day decision for you. Because we can be real about this. I'm a human being too. There's periods in my own life around family planning, business building, my own personal development, relationship development, where the easier road is more comfortable. Don't do the thing. Don't set the boundary. Don't take the risk. Don't learn the new skill because it's uncomfortable. It's unknown. And when my brain encounters something unknown, it doesn't want to engage with it. It'd rather just stay right where it is, where it's predictable and it's safe. And then all of a sudden you start asking yourself, well, why is no growth occurring? Why is everything kind of routine and happening day to day? That's very similar. Well, it's because we're choosing not to lean into growth. And so I want to say that to resonate with you, to validate you, to let you know that you're not alone in going through this. And oftentimes what's happening here is two things. One, you are forgetting all of the instances in the past where you faced uncertainty, you embraced change, and you came out on the other side successful. I'm talking about all those tests in school that you didn't think you would make it past and you didn't think you would make it through, and you did. I'm talking about that new language that you wanted to learn, that you were never sure you would be able to become an expert in, and you did. The accomplishments you had in sports, the accomplishments you had socially, all these different areas where if we took a moment to look in your past and find that list of wins, I'm sure we would find them. All these areas where you thought you might never make it to the other side, that you'd be stuck in this stage of awkwardness and pain and lacking expertise or lacking confidence, but you made it to the other side. So that's one thing. We forget. We simply don't acknowledge the wins and how far we've come. The other part of this is, quite frankly, we forget what it feels like to go through periods of discomfort and growth. We simply lose the habit of experiencing discomfort and not letting that cloud the entire experience or stop us from doing what we have to do. Think back to any major moment of growth in your life. This can be physical growth, when you had moments of growing pains because your body was growing, you were going through puberty. I know I hit my growth spurt relatively early. It's uncomfortable. Your bones are bothering you. Your arms are hanging out of your shirt a little too long because that shirt is too small on you. Your feet are growing at a rapid pace, and so your parents have to constantly get you new shoes and are kind of annoyed by it, but you have nothing in your power that you can do to control that. All of that growth is uncomfortable. On the other side of it is a stronger, bigger, taller, better version of you, ideally, if you embrace that. This also applies to social settings. Let's say you're starting a new chapter in school. I started school fresh in 6th grade, 9th grade, and then obviously in college. Each of those moments, I had a ton of anxiety and fear the night before, couldn't sleep. What are they going to think of me? They're going to think my ears are too big. They're going to think that I talk weird or talk funny. Why does my hair look like that? Why does my face look like that? All those moments of discomfort were prerequisites to the outcome that I really wanted. Meaning, even though I had those moments of being new socially in 6th grade, 9th grade, college, I ended up finding my community in all those settings. I had to go through this stage of things feeling uncertain and uncomfortable and scary in order to get the outcome that I wanted. That's because a prerequisite to growth is discomfort. It's simply not going to happen unless it's somewhat uncomfortable. And so I want people to remember that that feeling is okay. We don't have to avoid it. There is rightfully so, a desire to not rock the boat when things are cruising along kind of easy in life, where you don't feel a ton of pressure from work or school or your personal life. And you just kind of want things to stay as is. And that's fine. But when you come to these crossroads realizing there are certain accomplishments or values or goals that you still want to achieve, but it's going to require a period of discomfort in order to get them, we may often choose to stay comfortable instead and to stay right where we are and decide, you know what? I don't want to move in that direction. I want to stay right where I am. It's cozy. It's predictable. I know where this ends. So I'm going to stay right here. The problem with that is when we fast forward down the road, that's where regret starts to set in, especially around the risks that you may not be taking or the challenges you may not be embracing, the discomfort that you're not facing. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to set ourselves up in such a way that we can enjoy the journey. We can enjoy the present moment. I don't need every waking moment to be filled with an ice bath or something uncomfortable or a 5 a.m. run or intermittent fasting. Like, do what floats your boat, but it doesn't have to be uncomfortable all the time. But if you want some idealized version down the road, just reckon with the idea that it's going to not always be pretty. It's not always going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable at times. But can you trust your future self that they know what the best thing is for you, that they know exactly what needs to be done, that they can handle the change, just like you've handled it in school, in sports, in your personal relationships? You can handle the change you're currently contemplating right now. You might not believe those words. You might not feel it deep down. But if you look at your long list of wins in the past and you believe in yourself to be somewhat capable and competent and adaptable, it's possible. Move into that direction. Even if you end up, quote unquote, failing and everything burns and falls to the ground, guess what? Now you know the answer. Now you know that thing you wanted wasn't meant for you. And you can rest your head easy knowing, hey, I tried it out. It didn't really seem like the best path for me. It wasn't the outcome that I wanted. I'm not going to go down that road again. That is a lot easier outcome to stomach than what ifs. What if I did take that leap? What if I did start that business? What if I did find that new friend group? What if I did prioritize myself at work more? What if I did speak up for myself? Those what ifs, horrible. That's a one-way street to regret and to struggling to find happiness and contentment in your life. So, for yourself, what is a decision that you want to chalk up to your future self, that you want them to make that decision for you, that your current self is scared by? It's a little bit of a risk. It's not purely certain what the outcome will be. What is that decision that you want your future self to take care of for you? Let me know. Would love to chat about it.